Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. Ighodalo to appeal court ruling at Supreme Court is the topic we're discussing right now. Asue Ighodalo, the People's Democratic Party PDP candidate in the 2024 Edo State governorship election, has announced plans to challenge the Court of Appeals ruling that upheld Senator Monday Okpebholo's victory. The appellate court dismissed Ighodalo's appeal on May 22, affirming the earlier decision of the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. The tribunal had validated Okpebholo's election, declaring him the winner with 291,667 votes over Ighodalo's 247,655 votes. Despite the setback, Ighodalo remains determined to pursue the matter further. His legal team is preparing to file an appeal to the Supreme Court, seeking a review of the lower court's decision. The PDP contends that the election was marred by irregularities, including alleged overvoting and discrepancies in result collation across multiple polling units. The legal battle is set to continue, with Ighodalo's camp expressing confidence in the judiciary's role in ensuring electoral integrity. The Supreme Court's forthcoming decision will be pivotal in determining the final outcome of the 2024 Edo State governorship election. Joining us this morning is BUGIE OKHUEMOI, is the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Edo State Governor. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. All right, just give us a breakdown. Where are we right now? Of course, the 2024 election happened. Monday Okpebholo was declared winner, but Asue is still contesting this, saying he's supposed to be the winner. With the court's decision right now, the Court of Appeals ruling, where are we? Where do we stand in Edo State at the moment?
Where do we stand? Governor Okpebholo stands on continuing what he's been doing, developing the state, touching people's lives, massive infrastructural projects going on, welfare projects going on. I mean, we always knew it was going to be like this, so there was no distraction, so maybe you should ask them where they stand. But for us, work continues, delivering on the promises that Governor Monday Okpebholo made to Edo people, which he has been doing fantastically well, and which the people are pleased with. So work just continues, basically. He has extended another branch to the other guys to join us in developing Edo State. But of course, like they said, they want to approach the Supreme Court, and we wish them well in that endeavor, even though we know how it will end.
How is it going to end? How do you think it would end?
Governor Okpebholo is going to be declared winner. You see, the truth is the elections of September 20th, 2024 was free, was fair, and it was won hands down by Governor Okpebholo. Like I always say whenever I have the opportunity, the people have a right to determine who leads them. And it's a very serious right that must be protected. The majority must have a say in who leads them. An election was conducted by the body who should conduct elections. Results were validly cast, they were counted, and the body declared a winner. Close to 300,000 people, over 290,000 people voted for Governor Monday Okpebholo to lead them, as governor in Edo State. Now, when you go to court to ask the court to change that, you are asking for something very, very serious. What you're saying is that the will of these people, the will of the majority, should be changed to favor you. That's something serious you are asking, and it puts a lot of responsibility on you to prove. You must convincingly prove to the court that there are reasons why that should change. And from the judgment of the tribunal, which I always say is one of the longest we have seen in the history of gubernatorial elections in Nigeria, every issue they raised was addressed. And at the end of the day, the court said, you haven't even done, it's not just that you haven't proven, you haven't even done a good job proving your cases. You bring beavers machines which are central to your case, they were not operated. You bring results without the human angle. So it's a clear case that Governor Okpebholo won the election hands down. And what the PDP is asking for, I mean, while we are not the courts, it will be difficult for them to get what they're asking for.
Okay, so how about the cases that were being put out there? So one of the issues was obviously overvoting, right? And then the PDP is also saying that the APC is trying to influence the court's decision, because you are saying that they want the decision changed, and you cannot do that.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now? Hello, Mr. BUGIE. I think we're having issues with BUGIE's audio there, but we're just going to try and fix that. Anyways, if you're just joining us, we're discussing Edo State politics and the fact that Asue Ighodalo has said he's going to move over to the Supreme Court based on the ruling that was given by the appellate court. The appellate court obviously had thrown out the case, saying that Monday Okpebholo remains the winner of the election that happened in Edo State. But there were so many discrepancies with that election. Some things that were being talked about was the fact that, you know, there was even voters' apathy. A lot of people did not come out on that day, and then it was surprising to see how much votes that Monday Okpebholo obviously amassed, and which now brought up the conversation about overvoting. Another thing that was being spoken about was the fact that, you know, the beavers were not working, the IRF, all of the technology that were, you know, deployed for that election, most of them were not working, and some of the polling units did not even get all of their materials. Can you hear me now, BUGIE?
I'm sorry, I just heard you in the last like 10 seconds.
Okay, so I
said earlier, I didn't get it. Could you come again?
It's okay. So I was asking that one thing that was being said, because you just spoke about changing the court's ruling, and that's what they want. That's what Asue Ighodalo and his team wants, to change the court's ruling, and it doesn't work that way. But there is the accusation that the APC here right now is influencing the court's decision, and of course, if you look at the overvoting that happened on that day, it's possible that, you know, he won. What's your own comment to that? What's your response?
Well, I can't talk to the APC, Francine. I don't make conjectures that can't be proven, so I won't want to get into that. But the cases were well argued at the tribunal. I mean, you take your case to an arbitrator, that's the court. We go there to defend ourselves. The court listens to both arguments, and the court arrives at a judgment. And like I said, if you see the length of that judgment at the tribunal, every issue they raised was addressed in details. So, I mean, it's a clear judgment. It's part of our tradition, it's part of our history in this country for people who lose an election to want to approach the court. So it's not, we're not too surprised they went to court. But the truth is a journey in futility, because that election was won free and square. When we get to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court affirms the ruling of the tribunal and the appeal court, I'll probably come back and explain why it was not possible for them to have won the elections. Anybody who was on ground in Edo State, who followed the circumstances leading up to the election and around the election, knows that there was no way the PDP and Asue Ighodalo would have won that election. I mean, it was an election that was decided even before the elections held. So many factors worked against the PDP, and so many factors worked in the favor of the APC, one of them being the APC candidate, you know, being somebody who was more humble, somebody who was grassroots oriented, somebody who came from the people. The people could identify more with him. Remember, we had 8 years of a particular kind of leadership, of a particular kind of governance, you know, that seemed to be elitist, that seemed to be technocratic, that seemed to be a government of corporate elites. The people had tried that for 8 years, but unfortunately it didn't deliver the expectations that they had, you know, despite some of the things that they did and some of the positivity they attached to it. Was that what the people wanted? It showed a situation where there was like a leadership that was disconnected from the ordinary people, and the ordinary people thought, you know what, going into this next election, let's try somebody else who comes from us, somebody who seems to be someone we can relate with, you know. And those were some of the factors that came in. Of course, several other political factors, which I won't want to talk about now, but there was no way that Asue Ighodalo and the PDP would have won the election. And the courts are just affirming that, you know. So any talk about the APC influencing judiciary, that's lame talk. That's beer parlor talk. I don't think that's something we should spend time talking about here.
All right, let's just wrap up with this. Would you say that this case right now might just be distracting the people of Edo State, or rather the governor at the moment, Monday Okpebholo, and the works he's supposed to be doing? Because I'm sure the people of Edo State are tired of the chaos. You know, let's know who our leader is, let's know who the governor is, so he can focus on the job that he was elected to do. And at least 4 years after, you know, we'll see all of the progress that has been made in Edo State. How would you say that the governor is taking all of this and ensuring that he's not being distracted, or is he?
Nobody is being distracted. The people are not distracted. The last person who's distracted is Governor Monday Okpebholo. Edo people are enjoying the dividends of democracy as being provided by Governor Okpebholo. Their roads are being tarred.
That's great.
Loan credits are being given, schools are being renovated, so much is going on. Infrastructural projects are going on everywhere. Our students are happy, the workers are happy. Everybody is focused on the future and the new Edo that is rising, so nobody is distracted. The only people who are distracted are those who have to be running from court to court, and everything is going on smoothly. Governor Okpebholo is, you know, addressing security challenges, addressing welfare issues, attending to market women, attending to the students. I mean, so much is going on, and he was at work yesterday. Interestingly, you know, even while the judgment was going on, he was working. That doesn't look like somebody who's distracted at all. So Edo people are focused, they're excited with the governor that they have, they are supporting him wholeheartedly. I mean, things that seemed like impossibilities in the past are becoming reality. The Edo line that people have clamored for decades is getting back online. I mean, so many beautiful things are going on, and that's what the people are focused on. Nobody is distracted, least of all Governor Monday Okpebholo.
Fantastic. We love to hear that, because I mean, where our minds are obviously going to be for the people, because it was even the people that elected Governor Okpebholo in the first place, and I'm sure Asue Ighodalo obviously has his own supporters. But whatever the case might be, whatever the Supreme Court's ruling is going to be, we just hope that the focus remains on the people of Edo State. Anyways, I want to say thank you so much for coming. It's always a pleasure having you on our program, BUGIE. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you so much. Always a delight to be here. And I look forward to being with you after the Supreme Court, so I can reveal some of those things I told you about.
Please, we would really love that. All right, thank you. Have a wonderful day. All right, we've been speaking with BUGIE. He's a special advisor on media and publicity to the Edo State Governor. That's BUGIE OKHUEMOI. And we've just been speaking on the fact that Asue Ighodalo is to approach the Supreme Court after the ruling of the appellate court on the Edo State governorship election. This is how much we can take on the show today. We have to draw the curtains right now. Thank you so much for having the breakfast with me. My name is Rome Paulson. I'll see you again on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Good morning.